Good
Yes,
evening.
loud and clear.
We can hear you.
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's edition of our webinar. And thank you for making out time to join us tonight. I know today we're supposed to be resting, but it's always good to make out time to learn something new. We'll be continuing with the topic that we started last month, which is building a business dashboard in Excel. Last month's edition was facilitated by our lead facilitator, Mr. Musin Ahmed. And tonight we have someone else in the house. So we'll continue on that topic from another aspect. So kindly give a thumbs up and leave where you're joining us from in the chat. I know people are joining us from in Nigeria and from other parts of the world. You can just leave in the chat where you're joining us from so we know the number of locations that we have our attendees from. Thank you. At ID Analytics, we empower individuals and organizations to harness the transformative power of data through tailored training and consulting, ensuring they thrive in today's analytics-driven landscape. So we provide training and consulting. And then if you're a beginner or a professional who is looking to fine-tune your skills, you're in the right space. And if you want access to last month's session, kindly go to our LinkedIn page. That's at ID Analytics. You have the recordings there. You can also check our YouTube page as well for the recording of last month's session where we started from. And then I'll be introducing our facilitator for today, Mr. Samuel Kolade is in the room with us. Mr. Samuel Kolade is a seasoned finance professional and corporate trainer. He's known for delivering impactful programs to over 3,000 executives worldwide, equipping them with essential skills in finance and analytics. Mr. Samuel Kolade, for the next 40 minutes, will run us through our topic for tonight, building a business dashboard in Excel. So, Mr. Samuel Kolade, you have the floor for the next 40 minutes. And if you have questions, kindly note them. After Mr. Samuel Kolade's session, we'll be taking questions and answering and giving clarity to your questions. Whatever it is that you think you need clarity on, kindly note them down. Once Mr. Samuel is done, he will answer some of your questions. And we also have Mr. Ahmed Musin in the house to also contribute. Thank you, Mr. Samuel. You have the floor now.
All right, thank you very much, Mercy, and hi, everyone. Good day to you all from wherever you're joining from. Maybe it could be good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I know definitely it's not good night. All right, so good day to every one of you, and you're welcome to today's session. Very quickly, what we'll be discussing today is about dashboard. And trust me, when it comes to building dashboard, what you're trying to do is just to summarize your data. You may have large data, and you want to really get insight from the data that you have. And how to come up with those insights is by you coming up with a dashboard. But then before you say that, oh, you want to come up with a dashboard, what are the key things that you really need to have? What are the key things that you need to put in mind? Number one is that what exactly are the key metrics that you want to show? That is the first question that you really need to ask yourself. That is, what exactly is the key metrics that you really need to show? Well, but then that would have been after you might have gone through the structure of your data. You see that, oh, it follows the applicable rule that guides data, which I believe that you guys have done in the previous session. But very quickly, what we're going to be doing today is really how to summarize your data. And in Excel, yeah, of course, there's Power BI, but then in Excel, you can make use of a pivot table to actually summarize your data. What we're going to be doing today is that we look at the structure of this data. I believe that you guys have this data already. That's what we're going to be using, the data that I use for the May edition of the webinar. That's what we're going to be using for the June edition of the webinar. So basically, we have this data. You have the role ID, you have the order ID, you have the order date, you have the ship date, you have the ship mode, that is the mode in which the products are being shipped. You have the customer ID, you have the customer number, you have the segment, city, state, region, products, and then you have the category. And this category is now subdivided into subcategory. That is, you have some different categories. You have the product name, you have the regional manager, you have the sales, then you have the quantity. Yeah, maybe some discounts were being allowed, right? Were being given to customers, and then you also have the profit that were made. Now, the key thing really is that you want to summarize the data. If you look at this data, it's like how many rows? Wow, about 9,995 rows. Now, the question now is that how do we then summarize this data? Remember that I told you that the key thing I really need to look at is that what are the key questions that your dashboard is going to answer? What are the key KPIs that you really want to show on your dashboard? And really, when you look at this dashboard, you may want to say that, oh, maybe in a particular month, we want to see the total count of customers, or maybe in a particular month, we want to see the region that we're able to cover, or maybe you want to even see the different products by category, or maybe a count of different products by category that is being sold in a particular region, or you want to even see, oh, these my regional managers that I'm paying their salary on a monthly basis, so to speak, how much are they even contributing to the firm? And then you also want to see what is the revenue that you're making by product category, or you want to see your revenue, profit and discount that you give in a particular region. And then you can also see the monthly revenue. Really a lot of insight I can derive from this live data. But then remember that anytime, any day that you're coming up with a dashboard, what you should have in mind is that what is the question that your dashboard is going to answer? What are the key insights that you really want to show the user of your dashboard? The reality is that if every one of us in this room today, we are to come up with a particular dashboard, we may have different metrics, right? And the way we structure it may differ one person to the other. And the reason is because the way we think about it differs, right? The insight that I want to generate might be different from the insight that I want to generate. What your objective is might be different from my own objective. So as a result, key metrics really that may be showing on the dashboard may really differ. But then let's go into it. I mean, enough of stories. Let's go right into it. And when you want to come up with a dashboard, of course, in Excel, you can, let me just try to light so that you guys should be able to see. The first thing you want to think of is what is the color. In fact, you can think of the color mix that you want to use in building your doing the look and feel of the dashboard. And then one of the things I've observed is that when people are trying to choose some colors, they do some rainbow colors. Well, not really bad, but then you need to know how you can actually get some very nice color mix. And then if you're the type that, oh, you are not maybe really comfortable with getting a good mix of color, one thing I would advise is that you can make use of the company's the color code or the company that you're actually building the dashboard for. That is really going to help. However, there are some other color code that you can actually use. Let's say, for example, you just saw a data somewhere, maybe an anonymized data, and then you want to build a dashboard for it. You can start to say that, okay, if you come to your home ribbon and then you come to the fill color here, well, using this themes color, I really don't advise you using this theme color. The reason is because by the time you send it to, because this themes color actually use the theme color of your system as at that particular time. So if I use this theme color now and then I send it to another person, By the time the person is receiving that particular file, the team's color is actually going to change to the color that the person, the team color of the person's system as at that particular time. So oftentimes I advise that maybe you come to this more color and then do it, you enter your custom, you enter your color code, right? Come to this custom and then enter the color code, and then with that you're good, right? Alternatively, you can make it of the standard color that you have here, which is fine and nice. But then for the sake of this class, I'm going to be doing something simple. But let's say, for example, I mean, you're trying to get a color mix, right? Let's say, for example, I use, let's say, this purple, and I'm trying to mix it with another color. I decide to say that, oh, I want to mix this color purple and then color. I mean, I know that the ladies on this call, they know how to mix color very well. I mean, kudos to them. But then let's just look at it for the purpose of this webinar. I can decide to mix this color with this blue, right? You know, it looks nice. Now, so when anytime any day that you're trying to look at a color blend, try to look at the one that really blends with it and then can cool it. You understand? Don't take two shouting colors. When you are using two shouting colors, it's not going to make your dashboard to be really looking really professional, right? It's just going to look like a rainbow, as I mentioned the other time. So make sure that you look at colors that can easily blend together, and that will give your dashboard a very nice look. Also, another color that you can use, let's say, for example, you're looking at other color that you want to use. Let's say, for example, I'm making use of this blue here. I can mix it with this orange color, right? I can decide to mix it with this orange color. Let's come here. And I look at this orange color, you see that it gives me a very nice color mix, right? And then let's say, for example, you decide that, oh, you're not really comfortable with mixing two different colors. You can also make use of a single color as well. However, you'll be using the dark and then the lighter type of the color. So let's say, for example, now I'm using maybe a dark green, right? So if I'm using this dark green, I can decide to mix it with a light green, right? And decide to mix it with a light green, and then you see that it also look neat and nice, right? And these are the two colors that I'm going to be using in the course of building the dashboard. Don't try to use different colors, right? You can just stick to maybe a max of 3 colors when you're doing your dashboard. A max of 3 colors. At times I just tend to use 2, and maybe the third one is going to be like white or black. You get now. Let me use another example. Let me give you another example as well, and then you see this particular one. Now let's say, for example, I'm using like a red. So let's say that I'm using like, okay, so let me use this. I'm using like a dark red. Now the question now is that what can I mix with this dark red? If I come here now, then I'm trying to look for another color that I can mix with this dark red. If I use this, then maybe not really nice. I want to use something that is a bit dark, right? And then it can easily blend with it. So I'm just going to be looking for something that is quite dark and can blend with it. You see that using this dark blue, it seems nice and then can easily blend with it. And by the time I'm doing my shape fill, I can easily use any of the colors at the top here to do my shape fill. But then for now, I can just do this, right? And that is very simple. And that is how you can get different colors in building the dashboard. I'm just going to hide this so that we go straight to the dashboard. For today, we'll be using the color code for ID analytics. Now, when you making use of a color code for a particular company, you may not really know what the color code is. And then what I see people do is that they will now start going online to look for, okay, what is the color code for this particular company? And you don't necessarily need to stress yourself. What you can do really is that go online, download the logo of the company. Let's say, for example, now this is the logo for ID Analytics, and you want to make use of the color code right here, right? And then what are the two colors that you have there? Really, this color is blue, and you have a dark blue, and then you also have a light blue. So now, for you to get the color code, the first thing I want to do is that you come to PowerPoint. Then in PowerPoint, you come here, and then you can insert like a shape, right? Just insert a shape, and then you duplicate this shape, right? After duplicating this shape, then you come to where you have your shape fill. You see eyedropper under your shape fill, this paint bucket. You see your dropper, and then you can just select this. Now already I have the color code for the blue. And then for the light blue, I'm also going to do the same thing. I'll just select the second shape, then I'll come here, then I'll select my eyedropper, and I'm just going to select this. Now I have these two colors, right? Having got these two, the color code that I needed, I can either maybe copy it, right? Or still leave it here, or maybe let's just copy it and take it to Excel. So I bring it directly to Excel. So I'm just going to create another sheet, and I bring it directly to Excel. Then I'm going to press Control V, right? After pressing Control V, I want to start building my dashboard. And then in building my dashboard, I want to make use of these two colors, right? I want to make use of these two colors. And then let me also bring the what's it called? The logo as well. Now I have the logo here. So now the question now is that when you look at this, what is really prominent here is the light blue, right? So I have more of the light blue showing compared to this dark blue. And then if I use this dark blue, maybe the color will be too much. It depends on how you're really using it. So for me, in doing this dashboard, what I'm going to be doing is that I'll use more of this light blue compared to this dark blue. So I'm just going to come here. I'll select from column A to, let's say, column W. It largely depends on whichever region that you want to use to actually build your dashboard. So I'm just going to fill that with the blue color. But then you know that I need to actually get a color code for this. So for me to get the color code, I will right click on it. I will do as though I want to do a color fill, right? I will do as though I want to do a color fill. I'll come to more color just so that, and then I come to custom just so that I can get the color code. Then I can pick the color code from here. Remember that I said that there's really no need to stress yourself in as much as you can easily get the logo of the company. Then I've gotten the color code, and then I click on OK. And all I need to do is now to come here where I want to fill, right? Where I want to fill, I'm just going to select this. Then I'll come to Home. I'll click on this drop down. In fact, you'll see that I have the color code here already, but then so all I need to do is just to select this. And if I also want to get the color code for this, all I need to do is also to come to Home, come to this my pin pocket, into one color, and then I can easily get the color code. Copy it, and then click on OK. When you come here and then you come to this your drop down, you see under recent color, I have the two colors that I'll be needing for my dashboard already, so there's no need for stress, right? Now what I'm going to do is that I will then maybe enlarge this a bit. I will enlarge this a bit, and my dashboard should always have a title, because what is the essence of the dashboard? What exactly am I projecting? When you look at this data that we have here, it's related to sales. So what I'm going to call my dashboard, let me just hide this guy so that's really not confusing. So that what I'm going to call this is I'll call it sales performance dashboard. Sales performance dashboard. Looking at this dark font, maybe not the best, right? I will change it to white. So I'll just come here and then I'll change this to white. And yeah, I want to do a color mix. I want to use two colors for these. And in order to use two colors, I'm going to insert a column here, right? I will adjust this a bit. But then one other thing is that you need to also have the same size for the width, right? You need to have the same size for the width. And in order to adjust the size of your width, I'm not going to be using too much of shortcuts, right? So I'll just be doing one after the, I'll just be doing one after the other. You get that I don't bore you guys with really a lot of shortcuts. Now, if you come to the home region, then you come to where you have format, right? Where you have format, then you can see what is called the column width, right? Under the column width, you can decide as to, okay, what is going to be the width of your column. For me, the width of the column that I want to use is, the size that I really want to use is 0.5. I mean, it slightly depends on whatever you want to use, but then I want to use 0.5. So I'll just change that to 0.5. And then I want to fill this color. So I'm just going to come here and then I'll fill it the other color, right? I'm just going to fill it with another color. And then I also come to this and because I want to use two colors, but then this other color as well, it won't be that much, right? So I'm going to reduce it as well. And then in order to reduce it, that simply means that I also need to get what? The roll height. And for the roll height, let's say that I want to use, let's say 5, right? I'm just going to type 5 and then I'll click on OK. And I would just maybe yeah, I'll use this other color as well for it. Now I see that it's giving it some nice structure bit by bit, right? We're having some nice structure bit by bit. And then I'll bring this logo. I want to bring this logo so that they can also see it at the top of my dashboard. So I'll take this and then I'll take it to the edge. So let me just reduce this a bit and then take it to this edge and then I'll resize. Now, when you're resizing a logo or a picture, make sure that you are resizing from the edge. Don't resize from here. You are going to destroy it, right? So you try as much as possible that you are resizing from the edge. So I'm just going to be resizing from this edge and then I'll bring it this way, right? And that's all. These two guys, they've tried for me. I don't need them any longer. I'll then delete, right? I'll delete. Then I can copy this one down depending on the real estate that I really need to build my dashboard. I want a situation whereby when I'm done building the dashboard, I want to be able to see this my top row, right? I want to be seeing the sales dashboard and top. So what I'm going to really do is that I'm going to freeze the top row. So I'll just use Alt WFF to freeze, just so that when I'm scrolling down, I can easily see the title. And now let's go back to our data. In getting our data, yeah, you guys have converted to table already, and you want to summarize the data. And I told you earlier that in order to summarize your data, you make use of pivot tables in Excel. So if I come to, and then you can see that on that insert. If I come to insert, you can also make use of recommended pivot tables. So if you have recommended pivot tables, it's giving you some insight that you can already generate from your data. You have these different ones and all of that. Yeah, that is fine. Thank you very much, Excel. I want to come up with my own, right? And really what I want to do is I want to be able to get the count of my customers, the total region, and then some other insights as well. So what I'm going to do is that I'll come to insert, then I'll come to pivot tables. Then under pivot table here, I need it to be on a new worksheet. And I'm just going to click on OK. Now, the first thing I want to get is that I want to be able to get the total number of customers. And for me to get the total number of customers, I'm going to come to the customer name. Now, for me to also have the count, what I'm going to do is that this same customer name will drag it to where I have values. But then when you observe, what you observe here is that it's giving me the total times or total count that this guy, Aaron Begman, came to buy a product from our place. So I want a unique count. Now, for me to get a unique or a distance count, all you need to do is to right click. When you right click, you go to value fit setting, and then you scroll down. Hola, there is no unique count here. How can I get a distance count so that when I'm counting this, it gives me just the unique count, and then so that at the end of my data, just at the bottom here, what I'm saying there is the total count of my customer. So what I'm going to do is that I will just undo this guy that I've done, right? And then I'll come back to my data. Let me just delete this so that or either ways. Let me come back here. Then I'll go back to inserts. Then I'll click on pivot tables. Then, I mean, if you don't already have an existing worksheet, if you want to create it on a new worksheet, you can maintain it as a new worksheet. The only thing that is different here is you selecting this, add this data to the data model. So you're just going to select add this data to the data model, right? Select add this data to the data model. And then I want to make use of an existing worksheet because I already created one. And I'll come to my sheet 5. I'm just going to select any region here and I'll click on OK. And after clicking on OK, I'll go back to where I have my customer name, and then I will drag this customer back to the values. And after dragging it to the values, let's do the same thing that we did the other time. Let's do it again. Right click on this and I go to value fit setting. Then when I scroll down, you see now that I now have distinct count. Click on distinct count and I'll click on OK. Now I have a distinct count, and then instead of it giving me about 9,900 and something that it gave me the other time, I have 793. Now the thing now is that I'm going to come back to my dashboard. So let me just rename this guy to dashboard so I can be able to quickly see it. So if I come here, then I'm going to insert a shape. I'm just going to insert a shape. I'll insert a shape. Then after inserting the shape, I also want to type maybe what exactly the card is going to be useful for. So I can also duplicate this, and then I'm going to resize it. So I'll just duplicate it, I'll resize it, and then I'll place it at the top. But then I'm going to increase the size. So I'll just increase the size. I'll come here. Remember that I'm using two colors, right? And the first color that I'm using is this blue. So I'll just come back to my shape format, and then I'll come to my shape field, and I'm going to use this color for it. Well, maybe I don't need the outline, depending on what you really want. You may or may not include the outline, but then maybe we should leave it for now. And for this other one, I will also change the color field to the second color that I want to use. And I'm going to make this together. I'm going to group these two together. I'm just going to put these two together. So I'll come to under my shape format. You'll see group, and you can group it. Now I have this group, so I can come here and then place it somewhere here. Now the first thing I want to do here is that I will just double click on this guy, and I'll call it total number of customers. Now I have it as a total number of customers. Then I can also decide to also reduce the font and then resize as well. So I'm just going to do this, and then maybe should I just change it to 10? Yeah, that's fine. So I have it as 10. Now the next thing is now for me to bring in the data. Now I'm bringing in this data into Excel. One thing that you also need to pay attention to is that if I come here, then I insert a shape. Let's say, for example, I insert a shape, then I come to my formula. Now, you don't just type it in here. So you don't type it in here. If you type it here, it is not dynamic. If something changes here, if a data change here, it's not going to adjust automatically. It's not going to be dynamic here. So what you need to do is that just select the shape, go to your formula bar, do equal to, then you select what you want to really display on your dashboard. Now, if I select this, it's going to pick the format that I have here. However, when it comes to shape is a tool that works with Excel. It is not Excel itself. Now, if you observe, what I have in my formula bar is 6800. If I cut this and I take it to my dashboard, I paste it here, you see that there is nothing showing because the C800 on this particular worksheet is not the same as what I have on the dashboard worksheet. So I'm just going to undo this. The trick around this really is that if you want to do something like this, right? If you want to do it directly from what's it called? If you want to do it directly from where you have your data, or maybe where you have your summary already, what you're going to do is that just come here, do equal to, then take a step out of the sheet and then go back to the sheet, then you can select this. Now, what you observe is that it's now referencing that particular sheet that you have, and then you can press enter. If I move this now, I cut it and I take it to my dashboard. If I take it to my dashboard, you see that it still remains right. I still have what the data that I needed, and that is really it. Otherwise, you can have it on the different what's it called on your dashboard already. Then from your dashboard, you do equal to. Then go to the sheet where you are getting your report from. Then you can select this and then you press enter. And when you press enter, remember that I told you that it's going to take the format on that particular worksheet. So I'm just going to come here, I'll resize, I'll center it, and then I will make it white, right? I'll make it white, and then I'm going to make it bold, and then I can also increase the size as well. Now, after doing this, now if I want to also do something similar to this, I'll just duplicate this guy. I will bring it just beside it. All right, I'll bring it just beside it. I'm bringing it just beside it. What I want to do is that I want to also get the count of the regions that we operate. So I'll just call it total number of regions. That is the region where we operate. Now, the region where we operate is not 793. So I'm just going to delete this. I will delete this. After deleting it, yeah, it's going to be there. It will be encoded. So I'll delete it as well. And I'll click out. Now, for me to get that, I don't need to go back to my source data and then try to get my pivot table again. What I'm going to do is that I'll just copy what I have already and I'll place it just by the side. Then after placing it just by the side, I'll throw this out, and then I'll start from the beginning. Now, when I start from the beginning, what I really need to do is that I need the regions. So I'll come to where I have region, I will select it, and then I'll also come here as well. Now, after doing that, remember that what I want is the count, is the distinct count of the region. What I'm going to do is to right-click on this. Right-click on this, then go to value fit setting. Remember that for us to get this, what you're going to do is to add this to data model, just for you to be able to get the distinct count. And click on OK. Once you click on OK, then what you have is what? Is 4. I'm going to come back to my dashboard. I'll come here. I'll select this. And I'll go to my formula bar. I'll do equal to. And I'll go to where my data is. I will select this. And I'll press enter. Now, I need to also make sure that I have the same format. I will bold it and then I'll increase the size as well, right? And then we are good, right? Now, the next thing I want to be able to do is that I also want to get the product sold by category. Now, you know that under our data, they've given us the different product that we're able to sell. But then I want to get the total count of the product that we're able to sell. And I want to do it in such a way that, yeah, we're able to see the different products that were different category of product that was sold. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is that I can also copy this. I'll copy it again, and then I'll paste it just right below. And I'll take this off. I'll also take this off. Now, what do I really need? I need products sold by category. So first thing I'm going to do is that I'll come here and I'm going to select category. I'll select category, and I'll take it again, and I'll bring it to where I have values. So that's because what I'm really looking for is what is the count. Then if I want to change the structure of this, I can decide to press Ctrl+1 to change it in number format. Otherwise, you can also come to your home and then try to put maybe like 1,000 separator and all of that, then it will be good. But then I also want it in a situation whereby I'm able to see all of these three in just a single chart. Now, what I'm going to be using is that I'll be using a smart art. So I'll come here, then I'll click on the smart art. And for the smart art that I want to use, I want to use the one under, let's say, hierarchy, right? Under hierarchy. And I'm going to select this, then I'll click on OK. Now, pivot table will not work directly with the smart art. What you need to do is to then let me use another one. Let me just use another one so that I'll be able to enter the the data. So let me just try to get another one that I can use. Okay, I think this is fine. Now click on OK. All right. Now, what I was trying to say the other time is that pivot table will not really work with this, right? Because if I come here, if I select this shape, then I do it and then escape. And then I try to come here and then I won't be able to do equal to. So what I'm going to do really is that I'll convert this. So if I come to Smart Art Design, then I will convert it to shape. When I convert it to shape, then I can really work with it as though it is actually shape. I will delete this because I really do not need it. So what I'm going to do is that I'll come here and I will change this to, let's say, furnitures. So I'll just say this is furnitures. And this one as well, I'll call it office supplies. And then for this, I'm just going to call it technology. Now I can select the three. I'll just select the three, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll come to where I have my format. Then I can just then center it, right, and just centralize it. And just for the sake of this class, let me just cut this very quickly because of time, and I'll paste it here. I can decide to just put it in this particular region. Try to maybe adjust a bit. If I'm adjusting a bit, that means that I also need to maybe reduce the size as well. So I'll just come here. I'll reduce the size. I'll come here, then I will just reduce the size just a bit. All right, that's fine. Then I can just quickly get my data in. Let me just quickly get my data in. So I'll just do equal to, then I'll go to where I have the data. This is for of furnitures. Then I'll go for the second one. I'll do for the second one, that is office supplies. Then I will also get for technology as well, right? Technology. And that's it. And then for this, I'll just call it products sold by category. Now, this font is just quite big, right? So I'm just going to reduce it. So I'm just going to come here and then I'll just reduce it. I can just reduce it and then I can make it as that particular font. And that's okay, right? I can move this a bit to this side just so that it falls within that particular region. Now, after doing that, I want to then break this, so I can do Control C. Now, because I have the size already, and I just come here, select the entire row, then I'll paste it. It gives me the same size that I have at the top. Now, do I have a color already? Yes, I do. So I'll just copy this. I'll do Control C, and I'll come to this column. I'll come to this column, and I'll do Control V. Now, but then I want to still maintain the color at the top here, so I'll just press Control just so that I still maintain the color at the top. I can also adjust this as well, just so that I'm not taking too much of space, right? And then the next thing I want to do is to get my revenue by regional manager, right? So now I want to see the revenue that different regional manager are able to make period. So what I'm going to do is that I'll come back here, select this again. I'll just press Control C, and I'll come here. I'll press Control V. What exactly do I want? I want the regional manager and the revenue. So I'll come to where I have my regional managers, regional manager. Now here we have my revenue as sales. So I'm going to select sales, and that's it. And I'll come here. I will change the format as well. I will just press Control Shift 1. And then there is a need for me to rename this. I want to rename it to regional managers. So if I type here, I call it regional managers. Then I press Enter. Yeah, at times it may not accept it if they already have the name here. Because so what I type is regional manager, not regional manager. There are times that it will not accept it. The trick around it is that just put a space and then you press Enter. And it's going to accept it. And if I come here and I change this to sales, and I put a space and press Enter. But then in getting my chart, I don't want to have the total here. So what I'm going to do is that I'll come to where I have design. Then under design, I'll come to grand total and I'll click on off for rows and column. Now there's a need for me to get this chart. I'll just press Alt F1. Alt F1 helps to get the chart very quickly. Now in getting the chart, I've got the chart already, right? Got the chart already, but then after I've got the chart, I also want a situation whereby all of these field buttons, all these are not here, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'll come to here, I'll place my pivot table, and I'll go to my for where I have my field button, and I'll just click on hide all. After clicking on hide all, I also want a situation whereby you can easily see the data that this represents. I'll just come here and I'll click on data label. Once I click on data label, this is not really needed, so I'll just press delete. And then for the total as well, this total is heading. So what I'm going to do is that I will type in my heading myself. So I'm just going to delete this line. And then for the grid lines as well, I can take it all. So what I'm going to do is that I'll cut this and I'll take it to my dashboard. I will paste it here. I'll come here, I'll just drag it to this particular region. I'll fit it in very nice, right? I'll just fit it in very nice. And then there's a need for me to, let's say, for example, I need to type, regional manager here. So I'll just come here, I'll say revenue. What I've done there is revenue by regional manager. So I hope my spelling is correct. Yeah, of course, I cannot see it at the moment, so I'm just going to change that font to white. I'm just going to change it to white. And then, yeah, I need more real estate so that people will be able to see that. So I can adjust this and then I'll bold it, right? And yeah, maybe that's okay for now. And for this chart as well, I also want to do maybe some sort of color fill. This total, I don't want to show it here. I can delete it. And I want to fill this my chart as well. So in order to fill this my chart, what I'm going to do is that I can come to format and then I'll click on this shape fill. Well, oftentimes people use no fill so that they can make it of the background color. For me, I'm not using the background color. I want to fill the chart myself. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to select this lighter blue. That's what I'm going to be using. I can also use this as well, either one that blends more with what I'm doing. But then let's use, you can use a shade of this. I think that's okay. Let's just use that. And then that's what I'm using across board. And then for this as well, I'm just going to change it to the blue that we have. So I'm just going to come back to format. Then I'll come to my shape fill and I'll use this as the color. Now I really don't have maybe much other stuff to plot in here. So I can come here and then call it maybe the end of my chart. So I'll come here, then I'll come to home, and I'm just going to select this, right? I can decide to still fill this very accurate. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. Now you need some patience as well when you are doing a chart. You actually need some patience and all of that when you are doing your chart. Now the next thing I want to do is to get my product by my revenue by product category. So what I'm going to do is that I will just come here as well. I'll copy this, I'll proceed very quickly, and then I'm going to paste it here. Now what do I want to get is revenue by product category. Take this guy off, and then maybe take this guy off as well. Get my product category. What's my product category? That is category, and then I'm going to select revenue. Where's revenue? This is revenue. But then I want to do it in such a way that I don't want to be showing the value. I want to show the proportion to the total. So in order to show the proportion to the total, what you're going to do is that you can go to show value as. When you go to show value as, there are a lot of calculations that you can actually see here. And for me to show the proportion, when you say proportion, that is this value to the total. That is proportion. So I'm going to say go to show value as, then I'll show it as percentage of grand total. Percentage of grand total. And I can come here. I'll come here. I'll call this now. What is this now? That is category, right? I call it product category. Product category. And this is sales, right? Sales. And I'll press enter. Now what I want to do is that I want to do a pie chart for this. So I'll just come to insert and I'll go to recommended chart, or you can also just go directly to pie chart. Then you click on OK. Now, once you do this, I also I want to get all those what's it called, feed button out. So I'll just click on hide all, and I'm going to delete this guy. I'll delete this guy. Now for this one that is here, that is the legend here. I'll come to my format in legend. Then I'm going to oftentimes I try to take it to, I just try to adjust it to myself. I will take this off, then I'll take it to bottom, that it should be showing at the bottom. Otherwise, I can still make this overlap as well. I mean, I will click on this that it's not overlapping as well. Then I'll do a data label. I'll just do a data label. Then in doing a data label, I'll also come here. I will just call it white. I mean, okay, so we'll do that. Select my charts. Then I will just make this white. Okay, so what I really want is the data here. So I'll just come here and I will make it white. I know that my time is really has really gone, but then let's just see what we can put together here. And I'll paste it here. Now, after pasting it here, I will just try to adjust as well. I'll just adjust and adjust it, and I'll make it here. Now, I need to also change this color as well, right? I can come here, double click the side of the pie chart, then come to format. Then you can select maybe a color that you want to use. I'm just going to select this color and then for this orange as well. So I'm just going to select this orange, and I'll come to format, and I'll come to my shape fill, and I'm just going to select this. Let's just leave it as that for now. Then I can also copy this. So because I already have this region now, so I'll just do Control C, and I'll come here, and I'll do Control V, and I can decide to resize this, right? I can decide to resize this. Now, next thing I want to do is that I also want to be able to see the revenue, onto the profit, and then discount. I'll just come back to where I have my, where I already have my chart. Now, I'm just going to do this. I'll copy this. Okay, so let me use this. I'm just do Control C. And I'll come here and I'll do Control V. Now, what exactly do I want to get? I want to be able to see the revenue. So let me take this off so that I'll be able to have a blank one. Then what do I want to see? I want to see the region. So what is the region? But then I want to be able to see the revenue. Where is sales? Sales. I also want to see the profits and then a discount that we also give to them, right? Now remember that this is region, so I'll come back here, I'll call it region. Then for this, I will name it as well. Then for this is profits. And then for these as well, this is discounts. Right? Then I want to chart this. So let me just let's say I said I can come here, put it as on the separator, and then you do this, right? Then for me to insert the chart, I'll just come to where I can insert. Then I'll go to, I can always start from the comment chart. I don't want to use this. I want to use a bar chart. So I'll just come here and I'll click on my bar chart. Now once I have this as well, I'll go back to my pivot table, analyze, and I'll come here and I'll click on hide. And after clicking on hide, then I also want to show this. I want it to be reversed. So I'll just click on format as is. And when you have this category, you see categorized in reverse order. I'll just click on this. I also don't want to see this as well. I will delete it. Then I'll do a data label. So I'll just come here and I'll do a data label. And once I do a data label for this legend, remember that I told you that I also try to, and maybe I want to see it at the bottom, right? I can just decide to show it at the bottom. Then I can also decide to say, okay, maybe it should not overlap. Then I will delete this. And I'll take this guy, I'll cut it, and I'll take it to the dashboard. I'll just take it to my dashboard, right? Now it's making some sense, right? It's making some sense. So I'll just come here, then I will drag this up. I'll just drag this up. Now remember that we should always have like a title for this. I'll call this revenue by product category, revenue by product category. And then for this, what I've done here is revenue, profits, and then discounts by region. Now, once I've done this as well, I can also remember that we can also adjust the color fields. So I'll just select this. That's not the color that I'm using. I think I've used this. So make sure that you always use the same color across board, right? So I'll come here as well. Format this as well. Now for this color, I also need to change it. So I'll just right click and then I'll go to where I have fill. And I can select this. Then for the second color, I will do the same thing as well. So I'll right click and then I'll just use, I can use this for it. That's fine. Yeah, we are almost getting there. We're almost getting there. And the last one I will just do, just because of my time, is that I want to see the monthly revenue. And then for me to see the monthly revenue, I can also maybe copy this. I'll do a Control C. Let me just bring it here. I'll bring it here, and then I will take this off, and I also take this off. Then what I'll be using is my ship date, right? So I'll just select my ship dates. I'll select my ship dates. Okay, it's taking time to load. So for my ship date, yeah, it's going to my column. Let's just leave it for now. And I'll just select my revenue. I can always adjust. Now I want to bring this to my row. So let this come to my row. All right. Now, I don't want it to be summarized this way, right? This is not what I really want, right? I can right click on it and then I go to group. Okay. So maybe let me just take this cursor off. and then maybe I should, let me see, should I click? Okay, so let me ungroup first. If I ungroup first, then I click on group. Okay, all right. So let me undo. All right, so let's just see how we can do this. So if I do that, okay, so let me see what we can do. If I take away the ones, all right. But then, I mean, we can just let's just work with let's say for example, well, let me just remove this feed, and let me take this off first, and then bring the shape date. Let's see what we're going to have. It's document in a column. Okay, let me just see I can add widgets. So let's say, for example, I have the year, then I have the ship dates. If I have the ship date, and then I'll take these guys off, then I'll take these guys off. Let's see what we have. Okay, so if I have it this way, and if I select this, I think if I select this, if I click on group, what do I have? Okay, well, that's fine. So I can select months and I click on OK. All right, so I have this already. Then I also want to, let's say that I come to my design. I don't want to show, we don't show subtotals, and then I want to off this and this and all. So what I want to do is that I also want to show this is really here, right? So I can, or let me call this months, all right? So let me call this months. And then for these as well, I'm just going to call it sales. Just going to call this one sales. Then I can come here, I'll just press Alt F1. Now, I don't want to show you this particular way, right? This is not looking nice, it's not really making sense. So what I'm going to do is that I'll come back to, okay, maybe we should start from this. Then I will hide or fit button. Then I'll go to my design. Now change chart type, I'll change it to line chart. Now click on OK. Then for the total at the top here, I'll just delete it. For the total here as well, I will delete it as well. And then for this, I'll just right click and go to format data series. I will come here and just make it a switch edge. Oftentimes, I always try to make it 1.5. So I'll just come here, change to 1.5. And then I will cut it. I'll take it to my dashboard. And then I will bring it here. Let me just bring it here. We are almost done. Almost done. So I'll just select these, then I'll take it up like this. Yeah, all right. Then I'll also maintain the same format as well, just the same format that I've been using. And I will use the same thing. All right. Now, after doing this, here maybe I think maybe I need a legend here. Let me click on the legend on that legend. Maybe a chart title, right? This is a chart title for this one, and then I can call it monthly revenue. So let's say monthly revenue. Now for this monthly revenue, I can also decide to format it, right? I can do a shape fill, and I'm going to use this, and then for the text, I'll just call it white, right? I'll call it white, and then I will adjust this. Now, we are almost done, so I will just take this, I will bring this here, and then I can decide to maybe hide the excess column that I have here. I'll just type SS column that I have, and then for the SS role as well that I have, I'm not using it, so I'll just select this, and then I will also hide the SS role that I also have here. Now, oftentimes I don't really like to see grid lines, so I'll just come to view, and I'll click on grid lines. I don't want to show my grid lines, but then I mean you also want to maybe insert slicer and all of that in your report, depending on what you want to slice by. So I'll just come to my where I have my data. Maybe I should use this, right? So I'll just come to my pivot table, analyze, then I will insert slicer. What do I want to insert slicer for? I want to insert slicer for, let's say, maybe region, or maybe you can insert slicer for region. You can also insert slicer for, let's say, segments, depending on ship mode, depending on whichever one I want to filter by, right? So I'll just use this. And then for this, I also want to show it, let's say, in it's currently in a single column. So I want to show it in 2 columns. So I'll just press this and press enter. Then I'll take this to cut it, and then take it to my dashboard as well. So I'll just press Ctrl V, then I'll bring it to my dashboard. And then I can resize this. I can resize this and then bring it here and also bring it here. All right. And then if I want to take off this this ship mode, I can also take it, okay, undo. I can also take it off as well. So if I come to my slicer setting, then you see where you can see display header, whatever you want to show at the header. On the header, whatever you want to show there, you can always do that. So I can take that off. I also want to show some timer as well. So I'll come back to this and I will come here. I want to also slice by, I want to also be able to do time. Now, if I select ship date and I click on OK, then I can take this, I can just cut it, and then I'll bring it to my dashboard. And then I can have it just somewhere here. And I'll just make sure that everything fits in. Now, at the moment, if I do anything, it may be really working for only the monthly revenue, right? So it's only the monthly revenue that is really working for. It's only the monthly revenue. And then let's say, for example, it's filter for something, and I want to clear the filter. All I need to do is just to come here and then clear the filter. But then I want to be able to connect it so that it's featuring for every other thing. What I'm going to do is that I'll come to slicer. All you need to do is just to click on, come back to slicer, come to report connection. Then you can then select every of the pivot table that you have here. So just select all the pivot tables that you have here. So I'm just going to select everything. I'm just going to select everything. I think I've selected virtually everything. And I'll click on OK. It's taking time to load. And I'll come here as well. I will also do the same thing, right? I'll also do the same thing. I will make sure that it's going to be working for all that I have here, right? So I'll just click on this, I'll click on this, and I think I'll click on OK. Now, if I do this now, you see that it's working for everything, right? And then come here back, and then I clear filter for shipping. You see that all my data are back. Now, on the final note, just before we end, just before I take entertain question and answer, what I'm really going to do is that, yeah, you know that if I come here and I increase this, you see that it adjusts, right? Now, there are times that you want to say that, oh, you want to, if you come here and then let me come to there's something that I'll call properties. So you can also decide to say that, oh, this is your shape, you don't want it to adjust and all of that. So you can click on size and properties. And under the size and properties, you can lock aspect ratio. Then come to where you have your properties. Then you click on don't move or size with cell. All right. So I think this is going to be the limit of today's class. I'm going to entertain questions now. If you have any question, you can ask a question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. There's always something new to learn. You can never be full of knowledge. If you have questions, kindly put up your hand. Our time is fast spent, and as it stands, we might not be able to take questions here, but you can always join our WhatsApp community to ask your questions. The experts are there to answer them. So I'll be putting up some codes now. Kindly scan them to join all our social media handle. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining tonight. You can scan the codes on the screen right now to join the WhatsApp community, to visit our LinkedIn page and also the YouTube channel. Your questions can be channeled to the WhatsApp community. We'll be there to answer them. Mr. Samuel too will be there. Mr. Musin will be there to answer your questions. Thank you, everyone. Do we have questions? None? All right. We've come to the end of the webinar for today. We look out to the next one, which will be coming up on the last Saturday of the month. This webinar holds bi-monthly, so every second Saturday of the month and the last Saturday of the month, you have something new to learn. So kindly look out, stay tuned to always learn something new from us. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Samuel. Kindly enjoy the rest of the evening.